Now, children, we will discuss the last topic, that is market for goods. Here we are going to talk about that during those years, during the past also, when industrialization began, there was a craze for advertisement. Why advertisements are done today? We are living in a world of advertisement, and we know that advertisements influence very much to the consumers, to us, and that is why the advertisements are one way to convince, to persuade people to buy the products. So once the goods are produced, it needs consumers, it needs some people who will buy those goods. So during that time also advertisements were done. So how it was done in the past, that is the story, and that we are going to understand right now. So we know that when new products are launched in the market, people have to be persuaded to buy them, and they have to feel like using the product. So you have seen the power of advertisement in today's world. One way in which consumers are created through advertisements. But now here one question may come: what is the importance of advertisement? Because the advertisements, they persuade people to buy them, they try to shape the minds of the people and create new needs. Today we live in a world where advertisements surround us. They appear in newspaper, magazine, hoardings, street walls, television screens, etc. But if we look back into our historical past, we find that from the very beginning, during that industrial age also, advertisements have played a very important role. So now we will try to understand that how the advertisements were done during that time. Number one, how the advertisements were done. One way is the labeling of products. First point can be the labeling of products. The label was to be the mark of quality. So when buyers saw made in Manchester, so they used to put label on the clothes which used to come from Manchester. Written in bold in the label, they were expected to feel confident about buying those clothes. So all of you are aware that now also people always go for branded products because that is a mark of quality and no one can question the quality. So the label did not only carry words and text, they also carried sometimes the images and were very often beautifully illustrated. Like they also used the images of Indian god and goddesses. Images of Indian god and goddesses regularly appeared on these labels. This can be the second point. You have to make this question, children. You have to note down all these points, the various ways the advertisements were done. It was as if the association with the gods gave divine approval to the goods being sold. The imprinted image of Krishna or Saraswati was also intended to make the manufacturer from a foreign land appear somewhat familiar to the Indian people. So Indian people, when they were buying the foreign products, they were eager to buy the foreign products when they saw the label of the images of Krishna or Saraswati, because they found that they are very much associated with these god and goddesses. By the late 19th century, manufacturers were printing calendars, the third way of advertisements. Calendars, and unlike newspaper and magazines, calendars were also used in every house, and even people who are illiterate, who could not read, they were also they could understand by seeing the picture only, and that also influenced the people They were hung in tea shops and in poor people's homes just as much as in offices and middle class apartments. So that also influenced the people, and that inspired them. That influenced so much that people were buying those products which they could see in the calendars and all. Like the images of gods and figures of important persons, sometimes we also have seen that some images of some great emperors, Nawabs, in the calendars. The message very often seemed to say, if you respect the royal figure, then respect the product. So, product being shown in the calendar and the image of a royal personality like emperors, nawabs, etc., and as if they have close association with those products and they are using them. So the Indian manufacturers advertised the national message was very clear. But during the freedom movement and when the Indian goods started producing, they tried to give a nationalist message that was very clear. If you care for the nation, then buy the products that Indian produce. So many a times in Indian products it was being written be Indian, buy Indian. So they used to convey the national messages when the products were from the Indian industries or the goods produced by the Indian industrialists. So this was all about the chapter, children. I would like to conclude this chapter over here. I'm giving you some questions and I'm giving some objective questions also. Kindly do that and prepare this chapter. Thank you.